All right, you're looking at the new EVGA H55 with the brand new H55 chipset. If you don't know anything about it, it's basically like a P55 equivalent. It'll run the new Core i3, Core i5, and Core i7 socket 1156 CPUs, but it also has its own onboard graphics, which is very, very nice. Some of those motherboards that feature the H55 chipset offer like a GPU boost type of feature. Now this one in particular does not, but this is one of the nicer ones regardless, because if you're a gamer, you're not going to be really caring about that type of feature. You're going to be using external graphics cards to give you high performance, and that's what this board is basically meant for. Very nice board, decently high end, pretty good for overclocking, pretty good for gamers. It's a relatively high-end board. You can tell by some of the features off the bat. The LCD posters and the reset and clear CMOS buttons are meant for overclockers. Big heat sinks here for your MOSFETs. Lots of phases of power, solid caps, good hardware, etc., etc. So let's jump right into it. I'll take you for a quick tour. First of all, starting off with the socket. It's a socket 1156, so of course it supports the i3, i5, and i7 motherboards. That means you can pick the type of processor that you're going to need. If you're doing simple games, you can get an i3 or an i5. If you want to do some video editing and some more high-end gaming, then of course you can get an i7. Obviously, solid-state caps, multiple phases of power, lower RDSO and MOSFETs, so really good hardware up here in the front. Also, you'll notice that over here, it's got, I think it's called the EVGA double play or dual play, something like that. But basically, there's two sets of mounting holes, and that one set there is so that you can mount an older socket 775 heatsink on here and not have to get an adapter bracket or a separate type of plate. So that's a really nice feature. Over here, you are going to see that we do have 4 DIMM slots, up to 16 gigabytes of DDR3. It'll take up to 1333 megahertz native memory, but of course with overclocking, you can definitely go higher. Moving on to the side of the board right over here, you have 6 PCI Express. 6 SATA ports. Those are our SATA 2, 3 gigabit per second. You also have an additional 2 right down here, and these are connected to a separate controller. So basically, if you want to do the crazy RAID functionality of the built-in H55 chipset, you're going to use these over here. It's going to give you RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, and RAID 1 plus 0. Moving on to the PCI Express slots, there are 2 on this board, 2 X16 2.0. Full size. They do not run at full speed, though. The top one runs at full speed, X16. The bottom one is locked at X4. That makes it ideal for running a very large graphics card up here. There's a lot of space underneath it, too, so you're not losing any connectivity. And then right here, running a physics card, a dedicated physics card in the X4 slot is going to work pretty good for you. You have 3 standard PCI slots below that, and that rounds out the package as far as it goes for PCI connectivity. Now, also down here, I want you guys to note, you do have an LCD poster, as well as right over down here, you do have the clear CMOS, power, and reset buttons. And those are all very, very useful. You also have a clear CMOS on the back panel, which is where we are going to next. First off, you have a PS2 port right over here in case you have any legacy input technologies lying around. 4 USB 2.0 ports. There's actually 8 total on the back. I believe. You have the clear CMOS button that I referred to earlier. This right here is part of the H55 video output. This is a display port in case you have one of those new futuristic monitors that don't really exist yet. VGA port, DVI port, FireWire input. You have 4 more USB 2.0s over here, so it is 8 in total in the back, 10, 1000 Ethernet, and then finally 7.1 channel HD audio right there. And that basically rounds out the whole package on this motherboard. It's a very, very nice setup. I actually like the all black setup they have on it. It looks really, really good. But there you have it. It's the H55. It supports the 1156 Core i3, i5, i7. It's got a PCI Express slot. Put a big GTX 295 there, or a 5890 or a 5870, something like that. Put a dedicated physics processor if you're running the NVIDIA graphics, and basically it'll handle whatever you can throw at it. It will overclock. It does have the Elite tuning utility included in the box that'll let you get a nice overclock from inside the OS. Very easy to get your base overclock using that software. And that's basically it. So highly recommended. If you have any questions on it, feel free to email me, and I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the EVGA H55, type in E145-2079 into any major search engine.